ahead on 12 News, paving the way for food trucks. A common sight in Minneapolis that could soon make its way to Brooklyn Park. Then, how much is enough?
Everybody has a different idea of what retirement's supposed to look like.
12 News Money Savers helps you think ahead to retirement. But first, an up-close look at homelessness through the eyes of someone dealing with it. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Homelessness is something you don't typically see in the northwest suburbs, but that is changing.
According to Wilder Research, more than 4,000 people are homeless in Hennepin County, a number that has increased since the official end of the recession in 2009. Now, Maple Grove man is part of the growing trend. He's been living out of his car for the past year. Reporter Sonia Goins has his story.
Jonathan is used to spending a lot of time on his feet.
I had nowhere to go because I was unemployed.
He's been homeless for more than a year.
Like last fall, I would go back and forth a little bit between Maple Grove and Plymouth.
Jonathan didn't want to show his face or use his whole name, but he did want to share his story.
When I had to move out of the house, I had not yet found a job.
This is where he calls home now.
Yeah, welcome to my home. It's like my oasis, I guess. That I can park somewhere and I can lay down in my car, and people tend to just think it's just a car that's parked there.
Jonathan's car is packed full of necessities.
Soap and tissues and shaving cream and brushes. 80% of my diet comes from food shelves. Anything electronics like chargers, batteries I keep in here.
He likes to park his car in Maple Grove because that's where his part-time job is located.
Like the Wayside Rest, a McDonald's restaurant, the library, community center, a park sometimes.
But living in his car is challenging.
I go to like small business and just be there for like one or two very limited things, like wash my hair, brush my teeth, and get out of there. I've got a big can of Lysol, which was given to me by some food shelf, and I'll spray my feet down.
He says it's easy to hide homelessness in the suburbs, but it exists.
It's not obvious to people. We kind of blend in for the most part. So they're not aware of it.
Jonathan says going to a shelter in the cities is not an option for many homeless people.
So some people just prefer to stay out in their car, out in the suburbs where it's nicer and there's less crime.
Although living in his car is not ideal, Jonathan is optimistic.
I see it as a blessing.
He says he's hoping to close the door on homelessness in the near future. Now, Jonathan says he doesn't want a handout, he just wants an opportunity to do better. He's hoping that he'll get more hours on his part-time retail job. Now, Mike and Alex, there are currently no shelters for adults in the Northwest Metro. The closest one is in Anoka, and it's called Stepping Stone, but they only have like 60 beds for adult men and women. Not enough.
What he said about blending in, there's probably a lot more.
Yes, there is.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Sonia.
Well, meanwhile, the first suburban homeless shelter for youth remains on track to open before the end of the year. Brooklyn Park recently approved building a shelter on city-owned land near 76th Avenue and West Broadway. It would provide room for up to 12 young people. People who live and work in Brooklyn Park may soon have some new dining options.
That's right. The City Council gave preliminary approval to a plan that would allow food trucks in certain parts of the city. Here's Delane Cleveland.
It's nice to have like one central location.
Downtown Minneapolis is known for its hustle and bustle. And in the summer,
I'm never in the Skyway in the summer.
foot traffic migrates from the skyways
I prefer to be outside.
to the city streets.
And it's nice to be able to kind of come outside and have a variety of things lined up.
It comes with an egg, a fried egg on top.
He's referring to the line of food trucks parked along Marquette Avenue.
You guys have any questions?
Food trucks such as Chef Shack,
This is one of the oldest food trucks in the city. We've been around for about 8 years.
which exist primarily to feed the hungry workers of corporate America.
It's fast, it's quick, but also there's like this hidden foodie culture with it.
$7, please.
Soon, these food options may be making their way to Brooklyn Park.
And if you ever read the paper or follow the news, food trucks are like the big cool thing now.
Monday night, the Brooklyn Park City Council gave preliminary approval to allow food trucks in the city limits.
Target sort of drove it a little bit for us because they wanted to be able to have an event from time to time where they would have food trucks that would come and park on Target Parkway, which is actually a private road.
However, Brooklyn Park food trucks would be relegated to business areas and commercial districts because the city doesn't have Minneapolis-style foot traffic.
So 2 bites, no egg.
That's if, of course, food trucks want to come to Brooklyn Park.
Depends on if there would be a market there.
Laura Weering says city dwellers shouldn't have all the fun.
The more the merrier. Honestly, expand it, that's great.
In Minneapolis, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Food trucks would need permission from the property owners to set up shop. They would be required to park 100 feet away from the main entrances to existing businesses. The City Council is expected to pass the ordinance change on July 7th. The Brooklyn Park City Council this week also approved a zoning change to allow a new housing development in the northern part of the city. The Oaks of Oxbow project calls for 37 single-family homes southwest of Douglas Drive and 103rd Avenue. The homes would range in price from $350,000 to $575,000.
The mission of Brooklyn Park Police is to protect and serve, and today they focused on the serving part. Members of the Brooklyn Park Police Department volunteered at Brooklyn United Methodist Church to serve lunch for anyone in the community. While it helps adults, the effort also helps kids who might not always get a decent meal.
I think it's important for all employees to get out and do special things in their community, to realize that these are the people that we work with and that we work for in our community of Brooklyn Park, and it feels good to be able to help out.
Brooklyn United Church distributes meals Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays throughout the summer. Last summer, the church averaged 690 lunches a week. Robbinsdale area schools are also making sure kids get a good meal during the summer.
As Carissa Wyant reports, the district has a program to combat the problem of food insecurity.
We are eating tortellini with cheese bread today.
Kids at Forest Elementary in Crystal lined up for lunch today.
My favorite lunch is what we're having today.
They know why they need good, nutritious food.
Because if you don't eat healthy, then when you're older, you may have problems. So your teeth don't rot and you get stronger bones.
The summer food service program through the Robbinsdale School District serves free meals to kids ages 1 to 18.
If they're hungry, they can come on in and have something to eat.
It was created to ensure that kids could continue to receive nutritious meals during summer vacation.
District-wide, we're at about 53% of students that qualify for free or reduced price meals.
When they may not have access to food.
We do find that sometimes during the summer months that when kids aren't in school, that there is a need.
During the school year, kids who skip meals are more likely to be sick, absent, and tardy.
That it's prevalent. They're saying 1 in 5 children have food insecurity. So I believe that there's kids out there that don't get enough to eat.
According to the United States Census Bureau data, about 15% of children in Minnesota are in poverty. And experts also say that rates of poverty in the suburban areas are outpacing those of the urban areas. The aim of the summer program is to help children play and grow through the season so they return to school ready to learn.
There's just great correlations between academic success and healthy eating.
In Crystal, Carissa Wyant, 12 News.
For more information on where and when free lunches are served during the summer, you can go to our website. It's 12.tv. Coming up, finding the right number.
We're talking retirement. Next, 12 News Money Savers get you thinking in the right direction. Then later in sports, the Westfall Armstrong American Legion baseball team lights up the scoreboard.
But first, the rise of the dew points. Thursday will feel more humid. Whether retirement is a distant dream or staring you right in the face, saving up enough money can be difficult and confusing.
And today in Money Savers, we have a few basics of saving for retirement, no matter what your age. Here's Shannon Slatton.
You won't find these at Kmart.
Doug Gelhay can create the unknown.
This one is sort of like an alien tiki god.
Out of the unexpected.
There are typewriter parts in here, parts of an old cap gun holster with dowel eyes.
In the Robbinsdale basement where he tinkers away,
There's all kinds of possibilities I can see when I look in this thing.
Doug has bins and boxes of items just ready to be made into found object art.
And I thought this would make a cool robot.
And Doug now has the time to create.
Always feel better. You know, it's a way to get out of yourself, just any kind of a Zen meditation. This is it for me.
He retired in April at age 64 from a career in customer service.
I like doing customer service on the phone, but now I'd rather do my own customer service.
Doug and his wife had savings, a pension, Social Security, and a mortgage. He knew the time was right.
We have enough. You know, it's not a trip to Vegas every month or anything, but just having enough sometimes is the answer, and be satisfied with that.
But how much is enough for you?
Financial advisors say coming up with that number is the key to planning for retirement.
Everybody has a different idea of what retirement's supposed to look like. It's actually funny, we see a lot of people early into retirement that are doing a lot of the traveling and more active stuff. Later on in retirement, a good day might just be sitting on the couch with your spouse and watching TV. So it really does depend, and everyone has got a different idea of what their golden years look like.
In your 30s and 40s, start saving and don't stop. If you can, contribute to the 401k plan at your workplace.
When it comes to retirement planning, it's really just, the sooner you get started, the better. And just to stay the course.
Then in your 50s, evaluate where you are. This is when you start thinking about what you want to do in retirement and how much that's going to cost. Visit a financial advisor to see how you can catch up or protect what you have.
The number has become a big thing. And it's true. You need to kind of know, how much do I really need to live on? Some people need $300,000. Some people need $2 million. It just depends.
Then in your 60s, it's game time. Like any budget, figure out your expenses so you can plan for your income.
It goes from, for 30, 40 years, just accumulating money, trying to make money, trying to invest and save, to how am I going to spend it and how do I distribute it so that I don't run out of money before I die.
Investment representatives at Topline Federal Credit Union told us no two retirement plans are alike, just like no two retirements are alike. The key is finding out what is enough for you and how to get to that point.
Just depends upon where you want to be comfortable. And the important thing here is just make the mortgage payments so I got room to play.
In Robbinsdale, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
People in our area are hitting retirement in record numbers. The silver tsunami will influence everything from housing to employment. Watch our special report on that over the 4th of July weekend right here on 12 News. Coming up in sports, American Legion baseball highlights.
Plus, local players get set for the Minnesota High School All-Star football game. John Jacobson is in next.
Well, football season never really ends.
Yeah.
And there's a fun game coming up this weekend, and for some high school kids, it might be their last game.
Right.
Some of these kids, though, going on to college.
Yeah, tune up for college, but you're right. Some of them, this is it. So last chance to play for sure for all of them as high school players. Their regular high school football careers ended last fall. Now players from the class of 2014 are getting set for this weekend's Minnesota All-Star football game. Jay Wilcox visited All-Star training camp and has this report.
It's back to football mode and getting to know some new teammates in a hurry.
It's been really cool. I've met a lot of really good football players, a lot of guys who I knew, and I've met a lot of new guys that I didn't really know, but I've kind of formed relationships with them too, so it's been nice.
I knew a few of them just from like camps and stuff like that, but a lot of the really up north kids, it's really cool to get to play with them and stuff like that, see what they bring to the table and stuff.
Local All-Stars in action this week for the North team include wide receiver Connor Kittleson of Osseo, defensive back Jake Engelken, and offensive lineman Cam Garlick of Maple Grove, tight end Matt Juneau of Champlin Park, quarterback Keaton Studsrud of Benilde, and two Totino Gray Skies, running back Carlton Jam and linebacker Josh Satars. Teaming up with former foes is a little interesting.
Considering we're all on the same team, I'd say, it's good to get to know them personally. I used to think that they were always the enemy, and now it's like, well, we're friends with each other and we can hang out and stuff like that. So it's been a good time.
Keaton's got a QB. We got Carlton. He's a funny kid. Juno's just a big tight end. Should be offensive lineman. Yeah. So it's fun. Connor, I don't know, Osseo. So it's pretty fun. I mean, getting to play with them is cool. They're cool kids, so.
It's a short time to learn new schemes and get on the same page, which is tougher in football than most other sports in all-star situations. But the guys say it'll come together by Saturday.
It's going really well for our teams. Like with the 2 practices a day and great coaching staff. It's like they're getting us ready, and we're coming together as a good unit.
They've made it really easy for us. Made running through like days like this, and then we've already got everything like learned and wrote it down for us. So it's been pretty easy.
At St. John's University, Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Kickoff is at 1 o'clock Saturday at St. John's in Collegeville. The Armstrong High School baseball team reached the state tournament earlier this month. Many of those same guys are playing on the Armstrong Legion team, sponsored by the Westfall American Post of Robbinsdale. Armstrong meeting Brooklyn Park in a North Hennepin League game. Jack Wibben bounces a hit up the middle in the top of the first, and Jay Norgard is in to score the first of 2 runs Armstrong gets in the inning. With Armstrong up 3-1 in the third, Brooklyn Park's Dan Hansen smacking one past third. Jackson Bernard's the first of 2 runners to score. The Knights tied up 3-3 in the third. But Armstrong keeps hitting. Jake Westner's drive is just out of the reach of Tyler Stroh. 2-run score on the play, and West falls back in front 5-3 in the fourth. Later in the inning, J.D. Wise tags it over the left fielder's head, and this scores another run. They get 5 in the frame and take an 8-3 lead. Brooklyn Park gets 2 in their half of the fourth, but Armstrong adds 5 more in the fifth. Wibben with the RBI here. Westfall Armstrong beats Brooklyn Park 14-6. Also in Legion play, Maple Grove hosted Ham Lake, mostly made up of Blaine guys. Top of the first, Ham Lake's Kyle Piaski crushing into the gap. Jesse Slauson scores for a 2-0 lead. Top of the second, Slauson drops a hit into shallow left. Jason Hayek hustles home for the Heat and another run in. Top of the fourth, Piaski comes through again with a base hit up the middle that scores Zach Rustad. The next batter is Ben Beckman, and he'll bring Piaski home with an RBI double, and it's 7-0 Ham Lake. Maple Grove breaks the shutout in the bottom of the fifth inning. Brett Schulze up. His bases loaded hit scores Alex Benson and Matt Vogel. But Ham Lake goes off for 7 runs in the top of the sixth. Maple Grove loses 14-2 in 6 innings. And that's all Get Sports for today.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Still to come, an early birthday salute to America.
But first, can you help Brooklyn Park's mascot find his golden spud? Here is Spud Hunt clue number 3. Finally, a jump start to the 4th of July celebrations.
There's some adorable Yankee Doodle dandies in this Plymouth crowd. They came to wish America an early happy birthday. The Plymouth Hamel VFW Post helped lead the way. For their patriotic spirit, all the kids received Rice Krispie treats. That's us, America, right? I think so.
They had a great day for it. Maybe,
Exactly.
hopefully, some of the other parades coming up will have just as nice weather as it was today.
That's right. Already next week, 4th of July. Hard to believe. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and we'll see you again tomorrow beginning at 4.